Speaking of rappers.
Speaking of rappers.
I wanna detour just a little bit, but we're gonna come right back to this racketeering and stuff.
Remember, it's a special Diddy episode. Diddy
it
unit.
is. So yes.
Dun, dun.
So what do you think of the Diddy effect? And this is how I would define it, since we're talking about rappers.
Let 'em know.
So the Diddy effect is dealing with people who were signed or had P. Diddy influence them or back them. The engine, the Diddy engine, but after it's done, he made an album or two, couple songs, he gets rid of you, nothing becomes of your career, your musical career after that. So what do you think about that? Is this true? And do you think the Diddy effect is always negative?
Name 5 artists on Bad Boy Records that are multi-platinum off of more than one album, aside from B.I.G. and Diddy. And Mace.
And the sucky thing is, B.I.G., he only had 2 albums before he died. All the extra stuff is after his death.
Exactly.
Mace only had 1. He came out with the Welcome Back one, whatever that was.
That don't count.
But I don't know if it went platinum. I should have did more research.
That's fine, that don't count.
But no.
The Diddy effect is absolutely true because I'll say it on camera, I've said it before. There will never and has never been anybody more successful on Bad Boy Records than Sean Puff Daddy Combs.
Right.
There never will be.
Never.
And B.I.G. hasn't, not even B.I.G. Tell me, Diddy has more one-hit records than B.I.G.
Oh, yes.
Let's be real.
He does.
Who, just
with other people writing it for him.
But see, there you go. Once again, building your empire, allegedly, off of the backs of other people. So, the Diddy effect is absolutely real.
Yeah, because when you look at it, Black Rob, remember a group named Dream?
Dream.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. If you don't know Dream, Dream was a white group of female singers that actually had a couple hit songs, and no one knew about them.
Mario Winans? Was Mario Winans on Bad Boy?
Yeah, but I would consider him a little bit more, because he also wrote a lot of songs.
What about Diddy's band?
You know who? I can't give you 4, but I can give you 1. Faith Evans, actually.
She was on Bad Boy?
I think she was for a little bit.
Audience, check us out. Like, check that for us.
But she did have the affiliation, at least.
What about Junior Mafia?
1 album.
No, I mean, were they on Bad Boy? No, they were.
Yes.
But that's my point.
Yeah, so you're right.
Nobody will ever be.
Maybe 2, 3, yeah. You can't name more than 5. Can't name more than 4.
And then also, too, remember the band? Mm-hmm. What was the most interesting part of that show? Was it the band themselves, or was it how Diddy would react?
Yeah, Diddy reacting.
What he made them do. Mm-hmm. Even just the band, like, yes, okay, for TV purposes, for reality TV, making them, people forget that he made them walk to Brooklyn for cheesecake.
And Freddie P said it was for Beyonce, actually.
For Beyonce?
Yeah, so Beyonce was in the studio upstairs, so they actually went to go get the cheesecake for Beyonce. It's interesting.
I did not know
said that. Freddie P said it in an interview.
I did not know that. But even still, in 2004, 2003, it sounds entertaining. Mm-hmm. In 2024, we would say he's a monster. We would say he's power hungry.
Diddy Kane destroyed.
Diddy Kane was really good. He did. Mm-hmm. What else? Aubrey O'Day. Mm-hmm. I remember watching her in an interview.
Shine Craig Mack. She said that Diddy was giving people back this was last year. He said that Bad Boy was giving back to artists their rights to their records. But in doing that, 1, they're not going to get but so much money, and 2, they sell their rights to ever say anything about the music in their time in Bad Boy Records. Yo, what a crappy deal. You give them back into it in a day and era where Spotify is really running the show. No diss to Spotify. Please don't ban Tidal, Apple Music.
Spotify is
3.
Pretty much
right in the U.S. And right now it's like doesn't really matter unless you can really do something with it.
Agreed.
And that sucks. It sucks. So I believe this is the positive side of the Diddy effect.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
All right. Now you can look at it as, dang, a lot of these people like Loon and them didn't make a second album. They never got signed to somewhere else. Only a few people ever had a career after. Faith Evans was one of those, right? But think about this: you're an artist.
you're not signed. You get signed. Now you get tour money. You might get that advancement. He puts you in a situation that you have never been before. Now, granted, it's only one album, but a lot of people are chasing the dream. Me and you have tried to chase the dream and didn't get nowhere. I bet you if you know, we wouldn't have signed to Bad Boys.
No way. Not at all.
Let's just say you sign a Bad Boy.
That's a rap.
Right? No, but you could have made some money. Oh, another one that did do good, Machine Gun Kelly. But he didn't stay long.
Machine Gun Kelly and French Montana, though, that's a different era of music. And even still, I'd argue they don't have multi-platinum albums.
Platinums, yeah.
Multi-platinum
singles, but not albums, yeah.
Yeah. I'll say that, and I'll stand on this, and I'll die on this hill. Diddy is fantastic when it comes to producing and making music and entertaining people.
Right.
He is, tell me one music mogul that can dance better than Diddy. There's artists there's dancers that can't dance better than Diddy.
He was a dancer at one point.
Wasn't he like a background dancer?
He got hits. He has a musical ear.
He has an ingenious musical
Even
ear.
if he's not writing the songs or stuff, but he can, if he says that's a hit, a lot of times, and he made like Fool's Gold look like real gold.
Last Train to Paris, Diddy's not a great singer. But he was able to vocalize.
Right.
I will give him his credit, and he's made other people stars.
Yeah.
He's brought out the best in them. Usher's one of them.
Yeah. Ooh.
Usher's one of them.
Speaking of Usher.
You want to jump to that one?
Let's talk about Usher.
Can we jump to clip number, let's jump to the Frosted Flakes. Let's go to the Frosted Flakes if you don't mind.
We want to thank you. Come here. Don't sit on the bed at night. No homo. No, just don't get close to the bed. Don't get close. But it's just like, yo, we want to thank you for hosting the thing, man. It's been a pleasure. You didn't have to do it, and you did it.
No. I definitely didn't have to do it. I definitely didn't have to. First and foremost, I'm not getting in the bed. Shouts out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even, I don't want it to come close to the bed, at all. Usher look like he fresh off a goddamn plane. Usher.
Fresh off the garden stage. That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up.
All right, we can pause it right there.
You don't want to incriminate yourself anymore?
We can pause it right there. This is all allegations, but one thing I would say, right? When I think about, we talk about the racketeering, the RICO.
We didn't talk about the indictment yet.
We didn't talk about the indictment, and we're going to get into that.
You want to talk about the Frosted Flakes and tell me.
But one thing I always wonder with parents, for the sake of fame, you sign over parental rights.
Guardianship.
So that a 10 or 13, I think he was 13.
At least he was a preteen to early teenager,
right?
I do remember.
Even Usher said that he was introduced to that Diddy life at an early age.
People forget that
Usher's
first album was, I believe, when he was 14.
Right.
Speaking about sex and all that stuff.
But that is wild to me that you were going to tell this type of story on camera.
So, to your point, if our man is going to talk about this on camera and think that nothing's going to be said about it, if nobody's going to look back on it, why wouldn't his son then believe, oh, I can rap about that's the house the feds miss. They're not going to do anything about it. Nobody's going to look at it weird. My dad's on camera talking about wrestling with teenage Usher over the Frosted Flakes when he was 14.
And there's so many videos.
Allegedly.
The Justin Bieber one looks creepy. Only in hindsight.
In retrospect, looks very uncomfortable.
I'm just like, wow.
Everyone, you can go online and just look up.
And check that out yourself.
You just look at it and you will definitely say, you'll probably think he did it.
For the price of fame, though, why would you? You know what? Let me leave that alone.
Well, before you even do that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, for the sake of fame, money, attention, or whatever you want to call it, you will sacrifice somebody, whether it be a loved one or a child.
That's wild.
And that's what the entertainment business can be like. That's what life can be like. That's what work can be like.
Yep.
when somebody throws you under the bus to get a promotion, I do believe that. Do I believe that Diddy groomed Usher? I don't think he groomed Usher. But I do think that Usher was thrown into a world of debauchery and things that a 14-year-old should not be involved in.
Exactly. I 100% agree.
I don't think he did anything to him, but at the same time, is introducing a 14-year-old to sexual activity of somebody of age, would you still consider that illegal?
Yes. But it's hard because you wouldn't want your daughter, but then you have these guys I talk about,
Their
oh,
sons.
this is my coming of age thing, like they would do. It's wild though.
That's
but
very...
But you know what I'm saying. I leave it right there. But there's other ones where you see him, the case where the 17-year-old,
Which one?
a female that was supposed to be in the studio, people knew she was 17.
How many times does that happen?
That is wild.
That happens way too often.
So,
Well,
I don't know.
To speak to that matter, even just with the 17-year-old being in the studio, I learned this recently that the incident that happened in '99 with 𝐻INE, with the club getting shot up, 𝐻INE was only 19 in the club.
Mm-hmm.
𝐻INE should not have been allowed in that club, even if he was performing or something. He's not allowed to legally drink. So for him to be a part of that incident, somebody already should have gotten charged for that. Because you're not allowed to drink. You're in a place that only serves alcohol. If there were anybody else, they would not have been allowed in there.
Right.
And also, too, the woman that was allegedly shot by 𝐻INE has stated to this day that it has been P. Diddy himself that shot her.
Wow.
To this day, she says to her dying breath, and that happened 25 years ago since then.
25, yep.
She's not going to get anything out of that. Why would she continue to say that then?